So my negative experiences with my father shaped my positive qualities because as a kid, I had this irrational belief that if I did something great, this makes me emotional every time I say it, that if I did something great and it made it to TV, then my dad would look for me. And so I always had this pressure of like, you have to do something great so that he'll be proud and want to come back into your life. And so I think in trying to please him or be enough for him, because I always felt like his absence had something to do with me, and I don't know why he never said that, but I always just felt like I wasn't enough or I didn't do something right. And so what ended up happening was in me trying so hard, I developed a lot of different skills and talents, and the hard exterior had this really, really like gooey, soft shell on the inside, and I always took care of that in me, and so I always wanted to take care of that in other people. And so it made me a better person because I knew that outside people thought that I was this tough girl and I could handle everything, but inside I was like crumbling. And so I always operated in relationships with other people as if they were also crumbling. And so that's how it really impacted me. His absence was just like, if I do enough and if I'm good enough, he'll come back. And then in the process, I ended up just becoming a good person.
What did it take for you to move past that hurt?
I don't think I ever got past the hurt of my dad not being in my life. Yeah, I don't think I ever did. And I think it's something that I still grapple with and I deal with, but I try not to look at it as something negative per se. I guess as a kid, I just thought when in my neighborhood, nobody really had their fathers. So I didn't feel ostracized in that. I kind of just felt it was normal that mothers take on the burden in the house, like financially, emotionally, all of that. And so when I got to middle school and I saw that most kids did have their father, it made me uncomfortable. And so I felt like there was something weird with them, not with me. Like, why, like, what does your dad do? I don't understand it. And so I never really saw it as a crutch. I didn't recognize it. I didn't recognize that it was an issue or that it was impacting me until I started having romantic relationships with men. And then I started to see a lot of the deficits within myself. Like, where is that coming from? What is that neediness? What is that capacity or willingness to stay in situations that are just horrible for you? I need to figure out where this is coming from. And I recognize it as, okay, it's because I didn't have my father. But for years I was like, I'm the exception to the daddy girl, or like the girl that didn't have a dad rule. I'm not promiscuous, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not that girl. And then when I got older, I realized I was essentially that girl in a different way. And so I think first, to combat it, I tried really hard to have a relationship with him. I just kept trying and kept trying and kept trying. And then I just recognized that my father is who he is, and like I need to heal around him. And he can't be central in my healing anymore. I think society really dictates what fatherhood should be through our media images of what fathers do. And so I think that's a lot of why I struggled and what a dad should do or what it's like, is because what I would see on TV is that the mother handled most of the work and the father would come in and be comedic relief, and then he would leave. He may do a little sports type things with the kids, but like he worked, he came home, and then the mom took up the brunt of the emotional labor in the household. And so I think we teach men that they can't be emotional with their kids, but they are like solely a provider. And it's not their job to provide necessarily love in the form of hugs and kisses, but love in the form of the bills are paid, there's food in the refrigerator, and that's because I did that. And that's how I show love. And what happens is kids grow up not feeling that love from their father in the way that they've imagined it or wanted it, just innately in them. And so they then perpetuate that, and it just continues.
What gave you the courage to write a book about your experience?
So I got the courage to write the book from, I've always been an open book. Like I've always shared personally with friends and family members that asked what was going on in my life. But teaching and having to be your full self every single day in front of 30 kids all day really allowed me to put myself out there in a way that I had never done before. And then as much as I love them and I cared about them and my need to pour into them is what pushed me to put the book out. Because I know so many things about them and they've been so brave to share so many really deep things with me that I wanted them to say that the whole point of the book was like, stop carrying that shame. It's not yours to carry.
What advice would you give to the young ladies in regards to having the courage to pursue their goals and anything that they have a vision for, whether big or small?
I think the most important thing for young women to know is that nobody's coming to save you. You are who you are looking for. You are who you are becoming. Like, the role model that you are looking for is already in you. Like, nobody's gonna come save you. There's no white horse. It's literally like you have been set up to be that for yourself. And so it's just about discovering who that self is. I think that's my thing. And I always thought somebody was gonna come and save me or like fix it for me. And it's like, no. All of these situations have built me to be the person that I've always been looking for. Constantly ask yourself why as your journey as a woman. You have to have those moments of self-reflection, because it's just like you are what you eat, you are what you consume, you are what you attract. Just realizing that you're not the sum of everything that you've been through. That's not who you are. Those are things that happen to you. And a lot of times we let that become our identity, and that keeps us from doing what we really love to do or want to do, or giving us the courage to do that. But if you recognize that these are things that are happening to you, but they're not who you are, then you have the space to explore exactly who you are and how those things have been put in your life to push you into something greater.
Thank you so much for watching I Never Knew TV.
Please subscribe, comment, like, share.